Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my weekly Leica talks, all things Leica. So today I'm going to talk about as promised, the Leica R7. So this is an R7 that I keep with a 35-2.8 on it, and I'll tell you why. Because this camera is like a point and shoot camera for me. This camera I like sometimes more than the 6.2, even though the 6.2 is mechanical perfection. It's all mechanical, doesn't need a battery. Yes. This is battery dependent, but so what? It has aperture priority. It has program mode. I can put it in program and just pick it up and point and shoot. I can put it in aperture priority, choose my aperture, and pick it up and point and shoot. And if I had to say which is my favorite R body, the R7 wins out over the R6. Because for me, I like having aperture priority. I don't always use program. Program feels like I'm giving up too much control. But if I were in a pinch and I couldn't set up the aperture for some reason, I needed it to be varying, I'd put it in program. But I trust the electronics of a R7 to give me the proper exposure. It's got a spot meter or a regular 60-40 meter in it. It's got a shutter speed up to 0.02 of a second. Again, this is like the 6.2 with automation. And this was less expensive. I think I only paid years ago $300 for that body. That body is a less expensive body because people want the 6 and the 6.2 because they're all mechanical. The 7 is the bargain. And the 7, I have a 35-2.8 on it. And I just think it's a great walk-around setup. I do take that 6.2 with the 50 out, but the 35 on this is when I go to like a backyard party with some friends, or if I'm going on a walk just downtown, I just want a camera that's my carry camera, and I want to shoot film of friends. I'm always realizing I don't really shoot digital. I don't really shoot film for street. I usually shoot digital. But when I want to shoot family and friends, I always bring a film camera. This has been one that I kind of lean toward for automation. And I think that if you're looking to get into an R system, this is a 35-2.8. They probably made a Summicron 35. This is a Elmarit, and that's what I got because that's what I got when I bought it. It's really a good setup. It's not like they're going down in price. They're going up just like the M's. But I think the R7 is the bargain in the R bodies, because they came after the 3s and the 4s and the ones that some people say were a little bit less reliable. The 6.2 were out, and they were giving them, you know, a little bit of a redesign to make them more reliable. And then the 7 is just before the R8 and the R9, which I actually think are odd-looking cameras, but I've heard they're incredibly good to hold, and I like a big camera to hold, so if ever I came across an R8 or an R9, I would pick it up. But I've never found one inexpensively. But this one I did find inexpensively. This is like shooting, I guess like an FE2 or a Nikon FA, where you have full automation, a little bit of spot metering, or you can just set the exposure yourself. It's got manual. And you're really ready to go. It's a simple setup. Have you shot an R7? It would be one I would highly recommend if you want to go in a little bit under cost of what the other R bodies are going for, way less than the M bodies, and you're still getting Leica quality lenses and bodies, and the lenses are what are going up in price. But this is my go-to for an automatic, easy, don't want to think too much, which isn't all that often, but sometimes. Simple body that is allowing me to shoot a Leica SLR, which I am an SLR guy, and I grew up on SLR, so it really is easy for me to work with an SLR as well as the Leica M and the 3 series. All right, that's today's photography talk. If you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. Thanks to all my supporters. I love talking cameras and photography with you. I'll be back in a couple of weeks. We'll talk more Leica. As always, here's the good light.